the Malibu Madman, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Shek in studio. Everyone loves Shek. Emile Hirsch showing up at some point. Talk to him about movies.
Emile Hirsch's agent's going to blow in an angry call, Ace. That's the first time Dave Dameshek's name appeared above Emile Hirsch's.
Oh, yeah, that's true. On the Marquee of Life.
The Marquee, right.
Of Life. Minus three's the name of his pod. That is Shek's, not Emile Hirsch's, and much to get into. Joe Praino's here is going to do the news. All right. Stuff that's bothering me. Now, I don't know. You guys know. All right. Nobody watches more NFL Sunday than the three fellas that are in this room right now. I mean, between the two of us, there's 700 hours, and we're only 2 games into the season, right?
That's right.
Okay. There's one commercial. Every year, there's a commercial that they just won't stop running, right? Which is a little annoying. And I don't mind when things are bad. I mind when things are confusing. When Wall Street, I should say Madison Avenue, when they make a commercial where you get confused, like you go, is that the guy? Is that the same guy from The Thing? Or they want us to think? No, they just got 2 actors who look almost exactly alike to play neighbors, and I'm always like, is that his alter ego? No, that's not the story at all. They just happen to cast 2 guys who look the same to play different roles.
Yeah, people who the commercial directors who mistake themselves for Fellini. We don't need high art, man.
The Eric Andre FanDuel commercial. They're just running the bejesus out of that. Now, the theme, I don't know what it's about, but the theme is for FanDuel, and Eric Andre inhabits this guy's apartment who's just sitting alone watching football alone, I guess. But the guy they cast would be described as a black man with a large fro and a soul patch mustache, which is exactly how you would describe Eric Andre. So now we'll run it. You guys have seen it because they play it every 10 seconds. He's sitting on the sofa and Eric Andre jumps in. But, okay. To the hipster who did the casting, Eric Andre may be a household name. He is not to your average folks sitting around watching, Packers fan or KC fan who's drinking a Natty Light watching a game. He does not know Eric Andre. He doesn't know what he looks like. So when you watch a commercial, especially with the sound down because it's on, set B, because NFL you watch for sound. You got sound on one game. You got 6 games going. You just look at it and you're like, is that supposed to be the guy's alter ego, or is it Eric Andre with another guy? And then why not cast a fat, redheaded dude to be the dude? Play the commercial. I guarantee no one, I brought this up at NFL football the other day, and no one knew what they were getting at. Like, people are like, I don't know. This is you.
This is your first hunch of the season.
Who looked exactly like you.
FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday
would be described exactly like you.
Buffalo.
Is that you in the popcorn bowl? Is that you with the lampshade on?
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all
and make every moment more.
So, okay. So when they go, this is you, and then they go, this is your alter betting ego. Then that is you? Like, do we want a doppelganger?
I think that's what they're going for.
They're just going for a guy who looks like Eric Andre.
That's
like
how I
evil.
take it, but he doesn't look close enough to Eric Andre
He's wearing the
to
same
sell
shirt.
it. He's wearing the same shirt, so it's vaguely, if you really want to go there, you could even make the accusation that but you're making people look alike who don't look alike.
Why not? That's a black simile, they call it, what you just saw.
Was that right?
Black simile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Now, but shouldn't they have... They did the Winklevoss brothers. That was one cannibal played that role. Yeah. One cannibal. Took you guys. The guys in the other room got faster.
I'm sorry, I laid out enjoy the laugh through the glass. I thought you might enjoy that.
No. All right. Why not get Eric Andre to play both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put the eye patch on the alter ego.
In 1964, Elizabeth Montgomery played herself in Bewitched, and she played her sexy cousin, Sabrina, the dark-haired hot witch, go-go witch. They used to do that all the time.
Julie Bowen who, by the way, many moons ago told me that when I first met her, she said, "Oh my God, you're Dave Dameshek," and I said, you're Julie Bowen. Well, how would you know who I am? And she said, because I'm obsessed with the Adam Carolla show. I love Adam Carolla, and I'm trying to get on as his TV wife in your new pilot. She instead made Modern Family. That didn't work out for her. Poor
She rolled the dice. Came up snake eyes.
Showbiz is tough.
I have flashing. Julie Bowen popped on TV the other day.
She's in one of those playing herself repeatedly.
Yes. In yoga pants. Yes. And I looked at that and I remember going, here's my only memory of her. I met her one time and she was super fucking nice to me. And I realized, she probably was a radio show fan because she was really over the top friendly. Now, why doesn't Eric Andre play Eric Andre times 2 versus a guy that looks like Eric Andre, but he's not Eric Andre? Mm-hmm. Why do they do that?
I think you're right. I think this is a hipster director whose idea was this guy's alter ego is so wacky. He's Eric Andre, who you know from being wacky on TV. Meanwhile, people who watch NFL football and the Venn diagram of people who watched Adult Swim does not cross over a lot, so no one gets this joke.
I would love to go to any average bar, especially, like I said, like a Browns bar or Packers bar, and stop every person in that fucking bar and go, do you recognize this person? Can you name their name? By the way, we live in America. We live in a country where you can go to the streets and go, what's the name of the vice president of the United States? And 86% of people will be like, I don't fucking know. I'm not into politics. They will not know the name. You can go, Steve McQueen, famous actor. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's where we're at. So no one's going to name him. But is it him? And did they get an actor that looked like Eric Andre because it's his alter ego?
Yes.
And then why not use Eric Andre twice? Easy to do. And then less confusion. Because everyone I polled at NFL Sunday was like, I don't know if that's supposed to be him or they just got a guy that looks like him.
Supposed to be him, but now they're raising the standard for the average guy that Eric Andre, I think we're supposed to take as a better, not just a better with an O, but better version of himself.
I don't know.
You see?
Or like a wackier, right?
I feel like the airwaves are polluted with black people doing boring stuff. I don't like it. Just sitting alone in their modest home, eating popcorn alone, watching the game alone. Where's the beer? Where are your buddies? What's going on?
I'm glad you brought this up because, the serendipity or something else, because obviously I know Adam Carolla is watching the commercials at least as closely as he is the
somebody's got to do it.
I'm not insulting you on any level. So much has been provided for my life intellectually and otherwise by Adam Carolla pausing the game, even if it's a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. He'll still pause it and get up in front of the room, the big screen, and command the room for 15 minutes. Very good rant, Ace. Can we see how that Chiefs game turns out?
We need to get to the bottom of this Eric Andre
I want to hear this rant. No, always great. The commercial that's driving me crazy of late, this Aaron Hernandez movie. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this?
I've seen the billboards everywhere.
Oh, wait till you see the commercial, Ace, because it's really going to sing to you in a bad way. A song that you don't like to hear that will annoy you. They have cast this guy who looks kind of sort of like Aaron Hernandez, much like Eric Andre and this guy kind of sort of look like each other. But then they cut away to, within just the commercial, football action, and it just undoes the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You can't find a body double that knows how to move he's done something athletic a couple of times in his life.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I think you have to come to. I first of all, I think we have to watch this movie and give separate reviews of it to see how. But I also think what undoes these sports movies is the actual, ironic or otherwise, is the actual sports action. You can't have your actor who kind of looks like Aaron Hernandez. How lucky would you have to get as a casting director? He kind of looks like him. He's a good athlete, too. That's a near impossibility in show business, right?
Nothing will ever outdo Kathy Ireland kicking field goals. And that's her approach, her 2 steps before the thing goes powering through 55 yards, her 2 steps are like me stepping out of the bathtub drunk. That's what her approach to that ball. Then you hear pop and a whistle, like a missile going through there. That's the craziest one.
I also like the idea of Adam Carolla when was the last time you were drunk in a bathtub? You have a full body mirror to see what it was?
I cannot remember. That's how drunk I was.
Is that Kathy? Oh, no, it's me, nude.
Stepped out, nailed a 51-yarder.
I've been thinking about the Aaron Hernandez thing. Can I make a pitch?
I'd like you to.
Stand-up comedian, ex-MMA, great, and former, I believe, Colorado football player, Brendan Schaub. Brendan Schaub is big. He played tight end in, I think he went to Colorado, maybe Utah or some place around there. Look into I think he played tight end or defense. He's got the build of a tight end. He's got Hernandez as Colorado. Yeah, he played at Colorado. It's the same build. Facially, they're like a little bit dark. They have sort of the same cheekbones and stuff. And he's a performer, and he played football. I would nominate Brendan Schaub.
And Aaron Hernandez, not funny at all.
Listen, I don't fuck with the MMA guys. I do not fuck with the MMA guys. I'll bet you they're both 6'4", 235, 240. They weigh in the same. They have some features that are sort of the same. I would buy it. That's what I thought.
Listen, I don't want to be dark about it, but Aaron Hernandez doing what he did, it is a nice trump card that we have to play with our mutual Boston-based sports fans.
Yes.
Sometimes they get that swagger going and they can get a little loose and start flapping their gums a little bit too long, like, Tom Brady, we had Tom Brady, and we had the Red Sox get over the hump repeatedly. You had a serial killer on your football team.
Yeah.
That ends the discussion. That ends
Which
the trial.
would not upset most Patriots fans after 3 Sam Adams. All right, can I tell you 2 things, Shaq? Money, I call it money left on the table. I was thinking about, and we have movies. We actually wrote down 10 movies where they came up with the title from. You and I discussed this, and you can think of some. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But I was thinking about the actress who's Ferrari. She met Christina Ferrari. She married John DeLorean. She was a model and an actress. As a matter of fact, a movie she was in is on my titles of movies where they came out with the movie name before the actual movie. Okay. So Christina Ferrari, who was a big, you have the commercial, right? I want to see a and B of Brendan Schaub and Aaron Hernandez. And don't show me one after Aaron is dead and in the casket, or one's black and white, or one's when Schaub grew the beard. Don't do that. Find 2 pictures that look the same. Okay. I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. He's getting a tattoo.
Kind of thoughts I have.
Getting his back tattoo. Got guns.
It's like a demon. What if God made me this way?
5'9", you mean? To play a 6'3" guy?
You love to play football?
Oh yeah. Don't even buy the first move. But they let him use the.
I'm surprised. I didn't see this.
They're like gladiators.
All right, we got it.
It's the Patriots logos or lack
People are
thereof.
watching you. You can't make mistakes, Aaron.
All right, you can pause it. Nice.
He's like you. He takes a nice bath. You and Aaron Hernandez have a lot in common.
All the greats. All right, so Christina Ferrari, who's a model and an actress, marries John DeLorean.
Fascinating.
Right. Then they have a daughter. They name her Catherine.
I thought you were going to give us the big exciting answer. Portia.
No, Portia.
Of course,
Okay,
of course.
and hyphenate, because she was a name before she met DeLorean. And don't stop there, Shaq. And I'll tell you who never left any name money on the table. The Learjet family, the inventors of the Learjet, have a daughter named Shanda.
Chandelier. Wonderful.
It's brilliant, is it not?
I liked watching you sound that out, Shaq.
I had to.
Okay, so now
Someone once suggested I name my child Hoover.
Hoover Dameshek. Oh,
Wow.
so good.
Chef's kiss.
Okay, so Ferrari DeLorean. Should have won Porsche, middle name Mercedes. Ferrare-Delorean, and then she should have married me.
Oh my God, it's a big winner in
Carolla.
that one. Who's in the winner's circle
Also,
again?
I was thinking Harrison Ford has. I looked it up.
Best.
Harrison Ford has a son named Ben. Who's 57. She could have married Ford.
She could have been Ford. Quite frankly, not nearly as good.
Should have gone Carolla.
Yeah, that's right. Carolla.
So her name would be Porsche, Mercedes, Ferrari, DeLorean, Carolla.
Yeah, after she divorces DeLorean, winds up with you. Yeah, then she really is cooking with gas when she takes on.
No, she's not. This is her daughter.
No, but she would assume the stepdad's name eventually, just for the.
No,
cool
this
factor.
is her daughter. Wait a minute. Are we confused?
No, it would be Porsche. What was the second one?
Mercedes.
Porsche, Mercedes, Ferrari, DeLorean, Carolla.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's no stepdads. There's no names.
Oh, we're eliminating DeLorean. Oh, no. So, wait. But no, she would just tag yours onto the back end of all the
Yeah,
surnames.
she's hyphenated.
Times two now.
He's marrying the daughter. That's what he's
I'm
doing.
married.
Yeah.
I'm not marrying Christina Ferrari. I'm marrying the daughter.
I'm trying to hyphen here. That's all I'm trying to do.
They have a daughter named Catherine. She's appropriately aged. All right. We have.
I love it.
Find my picture of those two. Come on, the internet. I know. And listen.
Definitely don't get them both playing football.
You don't?
Get them both doing stand-up.
You don't.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, as far as pull ABs go, that was a good one.
Good
job,
That is
Aaron.
way better.
What are both of their dimensions? What size are they?
Those two cats are way more similar. And I, without having ever seen Brennan throw a ball or catch a ball, I am assuming he's more athletic than the actor guy.
He played for Colorado. He played tight
Oh, right.
end.
You said he made it, right. They didn't
Come
just
on,
MMA.
Jack. Here we
Right.
go now.
Colorado. No, I'm with
Jack.
you. I'm
All
with
right,
you.
here we go.
When you mentioned Colorado, my brain spun into the all-time funniest situation for a head coach, which is Bill McCartney, the born-again Christian, as he turns around the Colorado Buffaloes, much like Deion Sanders is trying and failing to do currently. Way back when, Bill McCartney goes to Boulder, Colorado, takes over the team, and they start to show some signs of life here. But his daughter begins a relationship with the star QB, Sal Onesi, and then he gets terminal cancer, does Sal Onesi, and the whole team, nay, the entire region, rallies around Sal, this tragic hero. And he puts a baby into the coach's.
I remember this story.
Which the born-again Christian had to love that his daughter was impregnated by the QB, but he can't say anything about it because the guy's a tragic figure slowly passing away before our eyes.
All right, find headshots of these two. I think they even still look close. All right, anyway, Schaub is 6'4", 245. Hernandez 6'1", 245.
Wow.
I mean,
Come on. I should have fucking cast this thing. And the guy played. And what did Schaub play at Colorado? Was he tight end or defensive? You got to find
Feels
his.
like defensive, but
No, for some reason I thought it was a tight. If he played tight end, I'm going to sue FX for malfeasance in casting. Okay.
if he was a tight end and they went with anybody else on the face of the earth, given the image you just showed there, that's crazy.
Fullback. He toted the
okay.
rock. All right, he probably went out of the backfield and caught some flare-out passes and whatnot, but he played.
H-back is basically tight end.
Yeah, he handled the ball at Colorado. What else?
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out quickly, Ace. A couple of coaches at Crespi High School football team. Big fans of yours. I wanted to mention that. They mentioned they like hearing me in here.
Thanks, Crespi. He did play tight end in spring ball. He practiced first at tight end in spring ball and was eventually switched to fullback. All right, is he the fucking tight end?
Did they just cast
This
the
is
first guy that walked
245
into the
tight end?
room? I mean, what happened? How did they not unearth this character? Brennan. That's a perfect one.
Yes. All right. So, next thing. You guys tell me if we're at an all-time road rage situation here. I had some business in Santa Monica off of the 3rd Street Mall or Promenade and in front of a big place that high-end retail, very gentrified. Lots of white people walking around buying expensive stuff they don't need, right? And I had to drop someone off to go inside and pick up like a Prada purse, like a $3,000 purse. So just to let you know what kind of stuff is going on at this mall, this promenade, you know. And I drop them off, and then there's no place to park while you wait for them. You can either park in the street and block traffic, or you can pull a ticket and go into the parking structure and pay $11 for 10 minutes. I do what I always do, the slow circle around the block, which does remind me of a crazy story. I used to live up in the Hollywood Hills. Sheck remembers the house. Remember the top of the Hollywood Hills over Lake Hollywood. And my phone would cut out right when I passed one street, you know. I knew it. You know where the reception...
Yeah.
You know, when I talk to Dr. Drew, he'll go, I'm just coming over the thing. I'll call you when I get to my house because it's going to cut. I knew right where the cut was. And I'm on the phone with James Baby Doll Dixon, my agent, and like a couple producers, this like big conference call talking about pitching some TV show or something. It was a 45-minute call. And all I did was slowly circle the block, like slowly I turned right instead of going straight. And just went around, went down, came back, and I just circled for like 45 minutes. But at some point, I looked up and there was a woman, housewife, a homeowner, like standing on a porch. And as I went by her, she just looked at me and she went, "What the fuck?" Like she was just like, You've driven 182 times around the same block, you crazy person. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're going to rob someone, just do it or something. Like, she looked and like, she had no idea. What could this mad person be doing 27 laps around her block? Well, she was the most incensed I've ever seen a woman. I just looked at her like, you can't, I'm not going to be able to express to you what this is, but I got about 5 more laps before she's called the cops.
Just going 5 more.
We got the headshot. Do they look close? Oh
my
yeah.
God.
Oh my God.
If you did this, if you showed this, you'd be like, I got to watch that. That looks pretty good.
Listen, I deserve a lot more credit overall in life, but for this skill, I mean, that's the guy. Okay.
That is legit banner work by you to pull that one out of the thin air.
Nothing. I just saw billboards. I just saw billboards for this show, but I was like, that's Brendan Shaw.
The lips and everything are the same, huh? The eyebrows.
Same deal. And play Dinah. All right. Anyway, that's it. All right. So listen to me. I'm circling the block, and I'm just doing the slow drag. And what you do is you hope you can time it so that you're pulling up when they're coming out. Otherwise, you're going to go for another lap because I'm not going to stop in the street and hold people up or what have you. So I get the phone call, and she says, I'm coming out. They're wrapping up the... By the way, women do this a lot. They give you the activity before they're leaving. They're getting the thing down now. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that... I would say... I used to do this with my nanny all the time. She'd go, I go, when are you going to be home with the kids? And then she'd go, we're leaving the bouncy world now. And I'd go, I don't know where this place is. When are you going to be home? Not what are you leaving? You're leaving something. I know. The place could be in San Juan Capistrano, so you're not going to be home for 11 hours. Like, I don't know where the place is, but... I'm looking for 20 minutes or 5 o'clock. I'm looking for a number. But anyway, the thing was getting wrapped up now. So I said, okay. So I was going to turn around. And I'm just doing a slow, long, clockwise lap around all 4 streets. And so now I come pulling up. And now I think this is imminent. She's coming out with this bag. So I pull up into the driveway. Now the driveway for the parking structure is one big, long driveway. And it has an entrance and 2 exits. And I'm like, well, I don't want to block anyone from coming into the thing, and I don't want to block anyone from leaving the parking structure. But I noticed the 2 exits, one of them is active. Cars are pulling out. The other one, there's no cars pulling out. So I don't know if the gate's down or it's not active or whatever. So I stop off the street on the curb, on the driveway, and I put my hazards on and I sit there. Now, There's no impeding anyone. There's no impeding cars coming in. There's no impeding cars leaving. And there's no people walking down the sidewalk, nobody on the street. There's no impeding. And I'm sitting there, hazards on, and a guy in a new Tesla, like a 35-year-old dude, well-groomed, swarthy looking, could have been something, Mediterranean something, Armenian, Middle Eastern something. He comes down the street. He's coming down the street, and he's going to turn off the street into the parking structure. And he rolls his window down. He's about 15 feet away from me, and he yells, "Move your car!" And I go, now, from where he is, I think he thinks he can't make it into the parking, like I'm blocking the entrance, when I'm not. I go, no, I'm not blocking. You can pull in, because he wants to turn into the parking structure. And he goes, "Move your car!" And I go, I'm not blocking. You pull in, pull the car in. And he goes, move it. And I go, I'm not blocking the entrance. And he goes, I don't care. Move your car. And I go, what? And he goes, I don't care if you're blocking anything. Move your car. I go, oh, fuck you. I thought you thought I was blocking you. He goes, no, just get out. I got my hazards on. It's like, look, your kid would have gone in and got fucking froyo and come running out. This is where you'd I'm not blocking anyone. There's nothing. I go, no, fuck you. So he turns in, because I'm not blocking him.
Hell?
He stops at the back of my car. By the way, it's traffic-y. There's other people trying to pull in behind him. There's a line to get in. He rolls his window down. He reaches and starts punching the back of my car, but his car door's 2 feet away and his arm's 2'6", so he's like scraping. But here's what I'm saying. He is doing the move where, like, in the courtroom, after the daughter was raped and left for dead, and the dad has to sit there, and the animal that did this gets up there and goes, you know what? She loved it. And the guy starts lunging at her, and the bailiff is holding him back, and he's kicking and scratching. That's what the guy did to the back of my car, except for we had no history, no exchange. Just like it was like trying to knock somebody out if they stood just out of the reach of your hand, and he's pawing and scratching. I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, I didn't move or anything. I just sat there because I knew he couldn't really get any leverage. And of course, other cars are like, you got
what a sight this
pulling up.
Especially if they can recognize you.
Then the guy just pulls up and just sits in line to get in the thing. And I'm like, how low is this guy's threshold for confrontation? And again, the dad of the teenager who was killed and raped in the courtroom, I get that guy. But there's some history there. He's missing his daughter. You know what I mean? This guy and I, zero history. He's driving a nice car. I'm driving a nice car. We're in a beautiful part of town. I've done nothing. I've not blocked anyone. I have my hazards on. I'm waiting for somebody. For all he fucking knew, I was having like a medical emergency or something. My wife's water broke or something. She's taken out of the car. So, no. And he attacked my car.
What traumatic event could have happened to him or a loved one in a parking misunderstanding?
Not since Roadhouse, where the guy brings his floozy girlfriend in and says dance on the table, and she's dancing, and then the bouncer comes up, not Swayze, the other bouncer.
Well, they're bouncers, right?
Says like you cannot dance on the table, and the boyfriend pulls a stiletto out and lunges at the guy. Like, where is your threshold for conflict resolution? You know what I mean? Like, what would this guy do if it was an actual situation? Like, let's just say I hit him on the freeway and fucked up his car. Like, what happens then? A grenade comes sailing into my car? Like, this guy's literally snapped, he's fucking snapped, and is attacking the back of my car, who I met 15 seconds earlier, and simply explained to him, I'm not blocking anyone, you can pull it.
I like, that guy's a misdemeanor criminal, but the guy in Roadhouse, like, I do love his first day in the joint, because he's getting 3 to 5. You can't pull a knife on people in a bar. What are you in for? Well, I instructed my girlfriend to go topless and dance in a seedy bar, and the bar owner told me not to do that, and it escalated from there.
Yeah. All right. So, Shaq, you want to...
Pulling a blade on the... what the hell? Why does this... Can I... For real. Because I feel like this happens to you a fair amount of the... More often than it happens to the average person. And I must say, it happens to me a lot that I get into these random conflicts, and I already don't like a lot of people, and then I go out into the world, and then it confirms it. And I feel like... At some point, I have to take a look at the man in the mirror and ask what I'm doing wrong. Why am I always in shouting things? And here's the new rub.
I look in the mirror every fucking day. I go, what is wrong with Shaq? What is wrong with that guy?
I get into these things, but here's the new sad thing that's been happening lately. My kids tell me I'm wrong. You don't got the old man's back? I'm trying to keep us all safe and sound going from one place to the next.
I feel you. I was to dinner. I had sushi with my daughter in Santa Barbara the other day, and she was telling me Shaq is wrong. I'm doubling down on the Shaq jokes today. Wait, there is a commercial. There's another facsimile commercial, the McDonald's commercial from like 5 years ago that drove me nuts. Where it's Eric Andre on steroids, where the woman is driving like a minivan, and then another woman pulls up on a motorcycle who looks exactly the same as her. And are we thinking this is her alter ego? You show the commercial, you tell me I complained about 5 years ago. This is Scourge. All right, she pulls up. She's redheaded and blue-eyed. She looks at a redheaded and blue-eyed woman. She's redheaded and blue-eyed. This woman's on a motorcycle. She's got the girl.
Yes way. Savor breakfast anytime you like.
Is it supposed to be the same person?
Cakes, real butter.
This one I don't know.
McDonald's.
Or did they just cast two people that look almost alike? What?
That feels like that one's
But here's my point. When you sit there, Joe, a man of 45, reasonably intelligent, go, then you've lost. You've lost the game.
The illustrator of the Archie comic book had Betty and Veronica. Betty was a blonde. Veronica was a brunette.
Right.
End of story. That's what you cast.
What were they doing in this commercial, Shaq? Were they saying, this is me if I didn't have the kid? Or they just hired two people that kind of look the same?
It's impossible to figure out, and now that you've brought this up, and now we've focused on several examples of it, I realize that this is a plague because there's the one, I don't remember what it is, but there's the call center one. Is it insurance or something where you get a call from yourself?
You're talking to yourself.
But then they wear their hair differently enough so that you spend the entire 30 seconds like, wait, is that her calling herself? I can't tell.
I need to tell, you know what I would do if I walked into Madison Avenue and there were coming up spots for NFL Sunday? I'd say, listen, you have to understand that 86% of the people watching this commercial are going to have the sound down and they're going to be drunk. And they're going to be eating wings, which means it complicates the thoughts a little and you can't hear yourself over the chewing. This shit needs to be romper room play on the nose is easy. Nobody can go, is that guy supposed, what is the nuance and the subtext? None. Pow. In your face. You know, I'm telling you, the commercial we're going to do here is going to be the equivalent of the Waffle House logo. You know what the Waffle House logo is? Waffle House. Yeah. Huge fucking letters, black and yellow. You can see it from 10 freeways away. No dipsy-doo, flipperoo, no line and Kugel beer with the little fucked up font. Waffle House. That's what we're doing because everyone's watching, sounds down, they're drunk.
Isn't that what we've now as a cynical society agreed is the best way? Don't we react most positively to like, our competitors like to use frills and such to get your attention? This is our product, and we stand by. Isn't that's that earnest kind of thing is
dude wipes, right? It's like dude wipes for dudes.
Yeah, all right. I wholeheartedly agree with me. Is what
and blame me.
I want to say about this. All right, I got one more for you to upset you, Shaq. Okay. But I'm really upset by that. I looked up the sales of Goobers and Raisinets. Raisinets outsell Goobers 3-1.
That should upset me?
Yes.
And a goober is a milk chocolate covered nut.
Peanut.
Peanut.
Yes.
I don't like a raisin.
That's right. You don't like a raisin.
Nobody likes a raisin. I've never.
Nobody
not
wants a
for
raisin.
one era of my life. There was not a 2-week stretch that I ever thought, like, I don't know. I haven't been eating many raisins.
They're neither feast nor fowl. They get spread on everything, but they don't make anything better. They hurt cookies.
I listen, I get what blue cheese is and there's mold and everything, but it really is strange. You have self-esteem issues if you're a raisin person. I like raisins. I like fruit. I like the fruit, but it's shriveled up. It's bad. It's gone bad.
It'll ruin a fruit salad, and it's fruit. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to talk to Big Raisin. And I'd go, you know what? You fuckers think you're bacon. You're not. You're a far cry from bacon. Right. Bacon makes everything better. You guys hurt everything. You understand? Stay in your lane. People want to eat raisins, they can eat raisins. Let's not ruin everything with raisins.
I want to yes and you here.
3.5.
I don't mind a raisinette. I don't know why it's okay.
I don't mind it, but the Goobers are 3-1 they outsell Goobers. I looked it up on the candy chart.
I have a theory why.
I know why.
I can't wait to hear why.
Raisinets sounds like a backup singers from a Motown band, and Goobers sounds like a retarded mechanic from Mayberry. It's all the name.
The name's not helping.
It's both. Yes, it is basically. Yes, it's Lionel Richie and the Raisinets before he founded the Commodore. The Commodores, he was with the Raisinets. They had a couple of B-sides back in the day. Smokey Robinson, the Raisinets, would open for Lionel Richie and the Raisinets. Yes, one of the originals. One broke off, had a hit, died of diabetes in her 40s.
Right.
Goobers a retarded mechanic
You're
at a gas station.
You're embarrassing yourself. It's a guilt by association thing. You're eating Goobers?
It sounds like it
what
makes
does that
you
say
dumb.
about you?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Not good. Yeah, I hear you.
Theory?
Raisinets, I like too. That reminds me of there is some percentage still in the year of our Lord 2024 of progressive universities still calling the female versions of their teams the lady something or others.
Yeah. Don't need it.
Are like the Trojans? Are they like the Trojanettes or something like that?
Yes.
I love the lady volunteers.
Yes, the lady Commodores.
If we have people that are going to bellyache about like the Washington football team's name, shouldn't women be out there like enough with the lady Vols? We're the Vols, just like they're not the men Vols.
Yeah.
They're not the wienered volunteers. Why do we have to do
the
this?
baseball team's not the baseball Vols. It's just they're the Vols who play baseball and the ones who play basketball and the ones who play football. You don't need to qualify it.
Pantherettes.
It's like in stand-up. It's always like your next comedian, because a comedian.
Right.
You got a lady comedian.
All right. What was your take on Goobers
here's
and
my
Raisinets?
Theory. Okay. Milk chocolate and peanuts.
Yeah.
50 different candies.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of choices.
You could be like, I want a milk chocolate and peanut. I'm gonna go with some Snickers. I'll get some caramel. If you want milk chocolate and raisins, you got one option.
Yeah.
So you're scattering the peanut lovers across 20 different.
You're breaking
candies.
them down. Yeah.
The weirdos who want raisins ever.
Big fish in the small chocolate pond.
They're the Raisinette fans.
I can't ever think of eating something where I thought, I wish there were raisins on this. Raisin Bran is about as close as I can ever get to that. And as far as cookies go, it's just using up cookie room. I mean, you hollow out that cookie, take those 5 raisins out of there. That's 5 spaces where cookie could have been.
Raisin Bran is a raisin I've not seen in many moons. It's never passed these lips, nor will it. I don't know what occasion would bring me to a bowl of Raisin Bran.
Let me explain how it worked. It was all a deal with the devil, the food. So let me explain how the breakfast cereals of yore worked. They had junky breakfast cereals, Captain Crunch and, Cocoa Puffs and stuff. And no self-respecting mom would watch the kid eat that bowl of that, caramel-colored, sugary, 15 different rainbow stuff. The highest and most neglectful mom still knows that's junk, right? But the kid wants it. So what they did, is they invented cereal that wasn't junk cereal, but it was every bit as junky, like Life. You know what I mean? Where you go, this is pretty good. Or corn, whatever. So where you go, oh, it's corn goodness and eating with the, a multivitamin and a juice and milk. It's part of a. So they had these sort of close cousin cereals that moms could kind of go like, okay, I am not buying him the Honey Smacks. I'm getting him Life cereal. I'm getting him Raisin Bran,
Wheats.
I'm getting him, well, do the frosted mini wheats, but they're not frosted on both sides, so he can eat that. So then you would get this thing, which is essentially empty carbs. Life is just, it's all just carbs and corn syrup, but the other stuff had food dye and some mini marshmallows. But what you were eating was essentially just carbs and corn syrup. And then so you would get the whatever brand or whatever they call it, whatever fancy wholesome grain or whatever. And then you would add a bunch of sugar, brown sugar or honey or something to it to fucking step on it a little and kick it off. And now you're essentially now I'm eating, Wheaty Harvest, except for it's just a bunch of carbs, and I've added a half cup of brown sugar to it, and now I'm doing just as much damage to my liver as I would have been if I was eating Captain Crunch.
Even the original Raisin Bran, like the one Raisin Bran, those raisins are like dunked in sugar. They have like a sugar.
Really?
They have a sugar coating.
Oh, yeah. They were
They're like
dusted with sugar. Yeah, Battle Creek, Michigan doesn't make mistakes.
Well, they're spoiled grapes. They got to do something to make them taste okay.
The commercial
they're
was like two scoops.
They're year and a half old grapes. This is what happens to them. Eat them, kids. They're good for you. And the big the big claim to fame with Raisin Bran was 2 scoops of raisins. And they would show them.
They would say
throwing them
juicy
in.
raisins.
Yeah.
And raisins, by definition, not juicy
dried
at all.
And then Post, much like Pepsi, decided we're going to take down this monopoly on raisin-involved cereals, and they came out with their own. I don't remember what it was called. I'm fascinated to know, though, 2 things. First of all, Ace, you mentioned, attentive moms. What were you eating in your home before you went off to school? Eggs?
No.
Nice. How do you want them this morning, Adam? Kind of thing.
Oh, Mom, I love them basted.
Can we go fancy? Poach them?
My mom didn't do a lot of cooking. I was on the meal program at the school.
Ham steak for you this morning, Adam?
I gave him
the pork chops.
I gave him Joe ordered that power move, man. We're on the road. Jim ordered eggs and pork chops. I mean, once he knew I was paying, yeah. But I said, that is a fucking power move right there. No, I was on the food. I was on the ticket. I have to give them the ticket that was like a movie theater ticket, like back in the day. And they'd give me some frozen shit from, Korea era, military supply stuff. Yeah, the meals were horrible. But no, my mom wouldn't do breakfast. Now, and she wouldn't have sugary cereal. But I would make oatmeal, and then I would just dump a pound of brown sugar into it with the honey, and now I'm just eating liquid sugar at this point. So that's right. Kids will find a way. You know what I mean? You build the wall, they build tunnels.
I did love the cream of wheat and the brown sugar oatmeal too. Were both very good. I think that I don't have to tell anybody listening to me, that the Shecky Awards, a popular category each year, a controversial one almost always, is best residual cereal milk. Start with you, Joe. Tell us what the best residual cereal milk is.
I think I know the right answer, but I'm going to give you my answer.
Go ahead.
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles is a strong candidate every year. Adam Carolla, what would you have? You can only drink the milk left behind by one cereal. Which is it?
I'm going to go Sugar Pops.
Not bad. Not
just
bad.
Just basically sugar milk. Essentially, it's a little corn kind of flavor in there.
Doesn't make the winner stand, does it? Adam's a little out of his depth here.
I don't know. But the thing with the Count Chocula, just go buy some fucking chocolate milk, genius, if that's what you love so much.
I like Count Chocula.
No,
I like Cocoa Pebbles.
No,
milk
go buy some
better.
Cocoa Pebbles.
It's very good.
Oh, I have an invention. It's called Yoo-Hoo. Write this down. All right, look, we got a real celebrity out there, Emile Hirsch. Is waiting.
The correct answer is either Apple Jacks or Cinnamon Toast.
Cinnamon Toast.
Oh, that's good.
Cinnamon
All right.
Toast.
We started a little late. Emil's here. We don't want to have him wait, but we do have the news, and then we also have the movie titles that no one's seen or that came up with before the movie. So we're going to take a break. I'm going to figure out how to balance this Murder's Row, and we'll do that right after this. Simply Safe. We got to love me some Simply Safe. I've used it. I've trusted it. I've recommended it for years. They've been with us longer than almost any sponsor. And I've partnered with them to offer my listeners peace of mind and 50% off. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam. Again, you go online, you set up the system you need. You know how many sensors and cameras and whatnot. You get all set up. It's sent to you, and you set it up yourself. You do in a half an hour, and, if you move, you take the system with you. They have exclusive 24/7 lifeguard protection. Simply Safe agents can act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm and can even see and speak to intruders inside of your home. Install and activate in less than an hour. This is the brand we go with. It's Simply Safe. 2 eyes in there, right, Dawson?
Get 50% off a new Simply Safe system plus free indoor security camera with Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam to claim this discount. That's simplysafe.com/Adam. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Trade coffee. Make coffee at home and discover how much better it can be with Trade, America's #1 specialty coffee marketplace. Trade matches you with options you'll love. Recommending new roasts based on what you like. Every bag is freshly roasted to order and delivered right to your home. When you subscribe to Trade, you support small businesses. They partner with 50-plus independent roasters across the country. I'm trying a new offering. It's called Alma Cold Coffee. It's an espresso roast. Tastes dark chocolate, rich caramel flavor, like roasted almonds. It is so good. And if you're not fully satisfied with your first coffee, they will replace it free. Trade the coffee you're loving at the moment. Let's get some good coffee. Let's get some Trade coffee. Right, Dawson?
Coffee at home, made better. Head to drinktrade.com/Carolla to receive your first bag free. Celebrating 15 years of podcasting, here's a memorable moment from the Adam Carolla Show's Ace Awards archives.
All right, I want to get to all this stuff. I feel bad for people who've been on hold, so I'm going to be real fast. I'm not even going to talk to them. Ben? Sorry for being on hold.
Master, how are you?
Sorry for being on hold. I'm sorry I'm not going to get to your question. Feel free to call back anytime. It's Williams, 33, not talking to you either, but thank you, from Portland. You have a lovely city. Thank you, William. Appreciate it. Are you there?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. And Susan, 46, Illinois.
Hi.
Hi. All right. And Kevin, 25 from Delaware. Kevin.
Hello.
All right. I said hi to the people.
Now for some new memorable moments, let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Emile Hirsch in studio. Dead Money's the name of the film, and it's available in select theaters and VOD right now. Emile, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I came across Emile and The Girl Next Door first. I think that's where you came onto my radar. And then Lords of Dogtown, it's a great film. Alpha Dog, another great one. Speed Racer. Lone Survivor. I mean, so many great films. So it's good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The movie, oh God, who else was in this thing? I was just watching the trailer
Jackie Earle Haley, Peter Facinelli, David Keith, India Isley, Rory Culkin. It was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it had shades of A Simple Plan to it for those. That's one of those Simple Plan's kind of quiet gem that people should definitely see.
And if you like poker at all, it's definitely right up the poker person's alley.
I'm intimidated by people that are good at poker.
I actually think it's a good practice if you want to get good at lying and being manipulative and bluffing and negotiating. I mean, there was an article that was about like actually Wall Street. Some people, they recommend it to their like hedge fund guys to like play poker because it makes them a little bit sharper. And I totally get that. I'm a little bit sleep deprived right now because I was actually at a game last night where in the Valley, and it was like a roller coaster ride of a game, and I was up pretty big, and I was about to leave, and it was the last hand, and I was like, okay, this is my last hand, and it was like ace king versus queens, and this guy short stack shoved all in, and I was like at home in the middle of the night waking up just thinking about that hand.
How much did you lose?
It was like $8,000 or something.
In one hand.
Love it. And the crazy thing is that I still won. On the overall night, I came from like 2,500 up to like 18,000, then down again, and it was like it was just a roller coaster. So it's a movie that definitely rubbed off on me to where I really enjoy playing.
Where are these? Are these like quiet celebrity speakeasy card games that you hear about with DiCaprio and Spider-Man? And I'm trying to think of
not them, but there's all kinds of games around LA. There's so many different games, and then there's also the casinos. You know, like Hustler and Commerce and the Bike and Hollywood Park, and those are all fun. I like to play at Commerce a lot, and I played the Hustler stream the other night. That was a lot of fun.
Well, if by the same standard that if somebody is 6'8" and seems coordinated, a prospective high school basketball coach might say, like, "Hey, why don't you try out for the team, man?" Actors, based on what you're talking about, shouldn't they be the best poker players?
Not in terms of like wit or math skills.
You lie for a living.
There's a lot of times where you just like you see me like counting on my fingers in front of you know what I mean? But before the movie, the producer / financier of the movie was like, "I'm gonna put you in Vegas. You're gonna play in this Alan Keating. He's one of the most famous poker players. You're gonna play in his game, high stakes, no pressure." Don't worry, I'm going to stake you in the game. So I went and I played this game, and I had only done like a $500 buy-in my whole life before that. And I was bought in for like 6 figures.
6 figures?
And I lost it all the first night. I just got completely steamrolled, but I thought I played really well. So I go home, or I go to my hotel room in Vegas, and they're playing the next night. So I get on the WhatsApp and I start like texting, and I'm like, I think I can go back. Just give me one more chance. I can make it up. And they reluctantly, well, maybe skeptically agreed to give me one more chance. So I went back to the game, and I had another 6 figures, and I almost lost it again. And then I just folded everything for like 3 hours, and I came back and I got everything back. And
really?
I went back to even and like walked, and I felt like I was like the king of the world. I mean, but seeing these players at these high stakes games, it is like the biggest mind fuck ever, because you're just seeing amounts of money. And like, I grew up like really, really poor. Like, we didn't have any money when I grew up. And so like seeing these huge amounts of money, like just being thrown around, it kind of short circuits your brain a little bit.
You grew up out here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up in LA and a little bit in Santa Fe, New Mexico as well.
And what part of LA did you grow up in?
I was born in Palms, raised in Venice till I was 6, and then we went to Santa Fe for like 4 years, and then I came back and I lived in Topanga, and then Westwood, and then Venice and Hollywood. So
Topanga. Topanga was a pretty funky place.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
They had
and
creekers.
Lived up to his Creekers. Wow, that is the throwback
term. You know what a creaker is?
We used to creek in Pittsburgh too.
This guy knows his Topangans.
I know Topanga
T-Bone
because the first construction group I hooked up with out here were all dudes who lived in Topanga. And then also the nudist camp that my grandmother wanted me to go to, Elysium, was in Topanga Canyon as well. And I was like, I don't want to go to a nudist camp, even in Encino. Like, if an Encino had a nudist camp, I still wouldn't want to go. But Topanga is its own funky, it's not Venice, it's not Beverly Hills, it's not the Valley. It's its own weird place.
Yeah.
And it used to be that way.
It's a little bit of a vortex. I mean, I remember... like some of like my friends' parents were like complete hippies. I mean, I remember going over to my friend's house and his dad was like had bongo drums out and was like break dancing on the floor with his long hair and then just like hitting a bong. I mean, it was like crazy. We were like 14. It was like absolutely insane. There was some party we went to where it was like you took a shuttle to like this huge like hippie palace or something, and everyone was on like mushrooms and all these different psychedelics. And the driver taking us was like, "These mushrooms are so strong," and I was like, "This is so fucked.
Where do I land this
die."
Pegasus? They would have the Renaissance Fair there. I mean, it was the last
Topanga days.
Yeah, it was the last bastion of like funky, old school, like 70s hippie. It's everything's been sort of gentrified now, and a house there is $2.8 million, and no more creakers and no more just sort of funkiness.
Yeah,
but it does now seem affluent, and it makes me think of when you say hippies. It does put me makes me want to bring up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. First thing, Ace and Emile. I wanted to share this with you. Emile plays Jay Sebring, who was once married to Sharon Tate.
I forgot.
Who was married to Sharon Tate in real life before they split, and then she was with Roman Polanski. Now you'll remember the scene when they go to the swank Hollywood party going on, and she's dancing, and Steve McQueen is admiring her from across the pool, and he is saying,
"Playboy Mansion."
That's what it was, right? I'm sorry. He remarks that I never had a chance because she was into Jay and Roman, little guys like that, or I never had a chance being, flaxen-haired, manly man kind of a guy. Steve McQueen's real-life son, who played Dutch in Karate Kid, just passed away.
That's correct, Chad.
And I wanted to bring it all full circle for you. I wanted to bring that up, but also the hippies, correct me if I'm wrong, my take has always been on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is that Tarantino is saying that the bad guys are the hippies because they're the frauds who have ruined Hollywood for the rest of us, even though we are all flaky in our own way or imperfect or flawed souls in a corporate sort of sense. Everybody shows up, and this is deeply serious business, and you may have a couple of belts in you, and you might be a 10-year-old girl, but you take the making of show very seriously, and the only people who spoil it are the villains, the hippies, because they're the frauds who are the interlopers to our nirvana that we've created here making movies for the rest of the world. True or false?
I couldn't claim to know that was what Tarantino's intention
You guys,
was.
like the actors, don't
Sorry,
sit
that was a
around and
long
decide
wind-up
that?
for a very quick, I don't know.
No, I'm always interested. Like Tarantino doesn't like. Here's what I think, everybody.
You
I
were
think,
like
here's
winding
the
up,
point
and
of
then
why
I'm
we're
like,
doing
I don't
this.
fucking know. Thanks for that.
I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love that scene at the Playboy Mansion, which had to be filmed at the actual Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, we were at the mansion.
For sure. And then I've been in the grotto, been to the mansion. I don't know. I don't know if it's a historical landmark or something. I went to the game room and stuff.
You and I were there together. We did something.
I've done a few things there. Also,
oh yeah, the game room.
I'll tell you, the best. It's sad actually that kids don't have publications anymore, like Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. That was a big deal. Playboy had their like co-eds and their stuff, but the best one is they had the Bunny Olympics. And they'd show them all like roller skating on the skirt, but they had like the punt, pass, and kick competition like on the lawn. And the guy that was always emceeing the thing, Bill Cosby. It was always Bill Cosby in his tennis shorts and a cigar. Like, I'm just going over to the Playboy Mansion to do a little work. You know, he was balls deep in every single one of those roller girls over there. But there's always be a picture of Bill Cosby, like, smiling with his arm around a couple of playmates. Yeah, it was they'd have the Bunny Olympics, and it's like the obstacle course, but the boob would fall out of the bathing suit when they're going over the cargo net, you know.
Bill Cosby is funny. I have a son. He's almost 11, and when my son was born, my son's mother gave me Bill Cosby's book, Fatherhood to read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, damn, this book is amazing. And it's like,
he's America's dad.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Cosby Show growing up.
I got a theory for both of you. Shaq, this is a little more for you. I just think you're going to vibe with it. But if you watch the beginning of the Bill Cosby Show, which we will find, watch Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Watch him. And think Ellen when you see him dance.
Oh.
You know, okay. Maybe Kamala Harris now when you see the dance. You have to beware the dance. But when you see Bill dance at the beginning of the show, I argue that if somebody put a camera in your face and said, there's no sound, I'm just putting a movie camera in your face, you got 5 seconds to convince whoever's watching this you're not a rapist. That's exactly the dance you'd do. It's exactly what you would do. Someone said, Adam, quick, 5 seconds, you're not a rapist. I'd go, yeah, woo, woo. That's all I got. That's all I got to try to convince people I'm not a serial rapist. I say, let's watch it. I say that's the exact dance we would all do if we were caught off guard and someone filmed us and said, you have 5 seconds to prove to America you're not a rapist.
I need to see this dance again.
Here we go.
You got 5 seconds, Bill. That's the dance I would do.
In hindsight, I find it more troubling than you do.
I'm trying to solve problems. That's the dance I do, the back pedal. It's insane when you watch it now. Everything in life turns surreal at some point, right?
Well, how about the idea that there's a 60-second long show open on a 22-minute long show? At some point they realize, like, hey, you know what? We can get some valuable seconds back if we
can save a lot of money on this.
I remember, I'm old enough to remember when shows had a sort of accordion opening. They had a long, full-length dance version one for like an episode where they came up 41 seconds short or something. They had the long opening and they had the quick one for shorter or longer episodes. Emile, you've made a lot of movies. We should look at your IMDb and see if there's any movies that would fall under the heading of they came up with the title before the movie. Now, I have a theory. I'll lay it on you. The movie Silent Night, Deadly Night. Somebody thought of that, and then they went,
yeah,
we got to make a movie. We got to make a Christmas
100%. 100%.
They have Halloween. This is Christmas, but Halloween. But not Halloween. Christmas, but Silent Night, Deadly.
Maybe. What about the Autopsy of Jane Doe?
That could be.
That's
pretty on the nose.
Not a lot of wiggle room, right?
That one might be, because I remember that title. I was like, oh, that's a cool title. But then I was like, they weren't like, let's make like a morgue movie, and then, or maybe they did. I don't know.
That was kind of like that reminds me of what was the name of the movie? It was like ice fishing for salmon in. I think I know what this movie is about, right?
Yeah, salmon fishing and whatever. Yeah, but you can't go totally on the nose like 8 heads in a duffel bag or something. That is. Here's what I got. I got Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Somebody had to just go, look, come on, man. Money. We're leaving money on the table. I got Harley Davidson. He rides a motorcycle, you idiot. And the Marlboro Man smokes. Okay? And we've come together. This is self-crime.
Prince Avalanche is a film I did with Paul Rudd, and David has said that he just came up with the title first.
Oh, well, that leads me into the next one, Maximum Overdrive. Somebody said those are two fucking killer words. We'll just put them together.
That's it.
And Estevez will star in it or something. I don't even know what it's about. we put a clown face on a truck. I don't know. But okay. Damnation Alley. This one, the Pam Anderson vehicle, Barbed Wire.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody went, oh, come on.
I saw.
Her name
I
was
think I
Barbara.
rented that as a kid.
You rented that, yeah.
On VHS.
Yeah, her name's Barbara. Wire, barbed wire. Come on. All right.
Her thing will be
Wasn't it barbed wire? Wasn't it barbed wire? I think it's, or was it barbed wire?
I think it's barbed wire.
Barbed wire? Okay.
Barbed wire. Somebody came up with that. Way before they came up with that script, right? Movie that I did stand-in work in, Judgment Night.
All right.
Judgment Night.
Wait, wasn't that with Bruce Willis?
No, that was Cuba Gooding Jr. It was Dennis Leary.
It is
there's a Bruce Willis
premise.
night movie.
Yeah. Color of Night.
Color of Night.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
If
Judgment
you've not
Night I
seen-
also saw.
You know that one. It's they get in. It's like some overage
Pivot.
Yeah, there it is.
frat dudes. Yeah, they're like they're like 30-ish-year-old guys, and their bus gets lost in Chicago. I lived in Chicago. There's some spotty areas of Chicago. Not so bad that you can just fall into like a 20-block area where there are no other human beings to be found
Just roaming
among the
gangs.
just a gang of 50-year-old white guys walking around.
Yeah,
They're
I
taking you
rented that
down
one
for
as a kid too. I rented that.
All right, well,
I
let's
rented
see.
a lot of movies as a kid. that I
If you
probably should have been
rented
watching.
Time Cop.
Yep.
Somebody put those
Rented
two
Time
words
Cop
together.
as
It's
well.
like, we'll make a
That's
movie.
Van Damme, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
I might have even seen that in the theaters as well. I think I did see that in
Now,
the theaters.
this is one, it may not make sense, but it makes sense to me. Jumping Jack Flash. It's a Whoopi Goldberg movie.
yeah,
It has nothing to do with anything, but somebody said, look, man, that
there's no
song
Jack
is such a
Flash
big
in
hit. Jumping Jack Flash. Like, everyone will know. Everyone will like it just because they like the Rolling Stones. They'll show up. We'll just call it. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
Face Off.
Sure.
Of course.
The classic.
Action Jackson. The Carl Weathers recently departed.
That's right.
Let's see. Damnation Alley. Money Train. I don't know if I got to that one yet.
Oh, I have a good one for you.
Is that Charlie Sheen Money Train?
Was Woody Harrelson in Money Train?
That sounds right.
Woody
That
Harrelson,
sounds
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Woody.
And then Brad Pitt did a train-based movie in the last year or so.
yes.
Bullet Train.
Yes. Here's one for you. American History X. Yeah?
I
Somebody,
auditioned for that as a kid.
As a kid.
Edward Furlong.
No way.
I was like 13 or 12, and I remember reading that script and being like, this is fucking crazy.
Holy hell, that's wild. And that's a wrinkle, Ace, that I love in movies is when you mention the title of the movie when a character.
Oh, yeah. When the principal's like, American History
This is
X.
You will not. That's right. He says to him, right. He says, this is because he's not doing well in history as Ed Furlong. And he calls him into a powwow, head face to face. You're not doing your job. Your brother's a bad influence on you. This is now your history class. We will not call it American history. This will be American History X.
Yeah.
That'd be great. They just add Furlong line, like, he just says, like, oh, man, that could totally be a great title to something.
These are not mere battles we're in. These are Star Wars.
When I was doing my research on Christina Ferrari, and this is internet, man. She was a model actress married to John DeLorean. You may have missed that part of the show. Ferrari's a car, and so is DeLorean. See, we're going here.
He's Speed Racer, man.
I know.
No, five.
Yeah.
By the way, the Speed Racer cartoon series salvaged my childhood.
Yeah, me too.
I watched every
it on
single
Cartoon
episode
Network.
of Speed Racer.
Yeah.
I know Pops, I know Trixie, I know Chim Chim,
Bridle and Chim
And
Chim.
Chim Chim made an appearance in that Chimp Crazy HBO documentary.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. I didn't actually watch it, but a couple people told me. They're like, you're in that Chimp Crazy documentary. They use a clip from Speed Racer, and I guess, I don't know, the chimp got into some crazy hijinks. Some lady kidnapped the chimp, kept him in her basement for a couple years. Maybe not years. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but enough to where the Tiger King guy made an entire documentary on it.
I didn't see the movie Speed Racer, forgive me, but I was always fascinated. I mean, how sideways did it get between Pops and Racer X? That Racer X, after like 20 years, wasn't it enough to be estranged and he could take the mask off? That's such a commitment.
Let me. Well, I can tell you what happened.
Oh no! Don't.
Pops Racer forbid his older son, Racer X, from racing until he was like 18 or something. But he stole Pops' race car, took it to the track, was winning the race, and on the last lap, got in a horrible crash, and got out of the car and ran
away.
And Speed always, once in a while, Speed would run into Racer X because Racer X would save Speed because he was blood, but Speed didn't know. But every once in a while, Speed would catch on. He'd go, Racer X, and all Racer X would do is punch him and we'd knock him unconscious. And then when you woke up, you were like, well, I guess that never happened. And you'd move on with your life.
It's like Castor Troy and his brothers. Somehow they figured it out, even though the movie makers didn't figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like
Pollux Troy somehow like, how would you know what my medication is, bro? Like, we've been talking for 7 seconds. You've already figured out I'm not your brother, even though I went to the trouble of having your brother's actual face replaced surgically onto mine. You still solved this crime?
That's
Pollux
the greatest.
Troy? Outrageous.
It's the greatest scene in cinema. Because if you have to think about how unlikely it would be, like it'd be like my sister Lauren showing up for Thanksgiving and bringing like a casserole and her walking to the front door and going, "Oh, hi, Adam. Where should I set this down?" I go, "Not so fast. What's Mom's maiden name?" She'd just be standing there with her casserole and her kids. That's essentially what that scene was. Why wouldn't you believe it was your brother?
It's pretty crazy how in the years since Speed Racer's become this like crazy cult movie.
Is it? It's a cult movie now.
No, it's crazy.
Is it? Well, you know. You get it,
dude. Like if you just YouTube why Speed Racer is a masterpiece, there's like 100 videos that come up of guys making like video essays about it. It's crazy. Like
is that Wachowski brothers? Who brothers?
Wachowski brothers, right?
The Wachowskis.
Wachowskis.
Yeah.
Did one of them transition, or am I thinking of another brother?
That's right.
I think that's correct.
Were they both the same when you did it?
I don't really know, to be honest.
I like that we're in a phase where it'd be like, I don't even know. What do you call her? Him? Them? I don't know. We just leave them.
But why so right? But Racer X. I mean, like
both transition.
He goes through his whole life. Is that right?
That's what I'm reading.
Racer X goes his entire life, like in his quieter moments, when it has nothing to do with the track or anything. When he feels I'm safely away from the Racer clan, I'm not going to run into anybody. Does he go maskless then, or do we assume he's always got the X mask on?
There's the movie. I don't want to give away the spoilers, but it has been out for like 20 years, so whatever.
Yeah.
He gets facial reconstruction surgery.
Oh, he does.
Like and he wears a fucking mask on top of that.
Like Rutger Hauer halfway through.
Thorough.
Did you? Ace doesn't like the movie Nighthawks. You ever
Kinda
see
makes me
Sly
wonder
Stallone?
Why
come up
Racer
with the
X
title
wore
before.
a mask if he actually completely got facial reconstruction surgery? Then maybe the mask looked cool.
I like the ancillary characters. I like Inspector Detector.
Yeah.
Because that's just a cool name, and he had a beard that went to one side. There was the automotive acrobatic team. There was God, I'm trying to think of all the ancillary. Oh, what was
Cruncher Block?
Yep. God, I'm trying to think.
Snake Oiler.
Snake Oiler was the best.
Snake Oiler was the best.
Listen, one of my best friends was a guy named Todd Oiler. You think his name wasn't Snake? Hell yes, his name was Snake. Was always Snake Oiler. We didn't even bother with Todd. He immediately, as soon as I found out there was a guy named Todd Oiler, immediately went to Snake.
It's
Snake
also,
Oiler.
we should also say that Speed was a trailblazer. It's considered to be a 21st century phenomenon that the leading character in a lot of popular TV shows, Tony Soprano and otherwise, are bad guys, and yet you find yourself rooting for them. But Speed is also that. Why didn't any of his competitors ever say, like, well, of course you win every race. Your car drives in water. And it has, when you want it to vault across a canyon, a ravine, you can do that with those skis that pop out from under and boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Why was that allowed? Why did that go on, Adam?
Yeah, you think there's always sanctioning bodies, when it comes to racing. And with sanctioning bodies, all they want is parity. They want everything to be the same. And there's plenty of stories where, like, Audi shows up in 1985. They're going to race Trans Am, but they got an all-wheel drive car, and everyone else is rear-wheel drive, but they got a inline 5, and everyone else has a V8. And they let them run a little bit. And then they say to Audi, you won 3 races in a row, so we're adding 100 pounds to your car. And they just add weight to the car.
And they Speed get his comeuppance?
I'm saying they'll do everything they can to create parity.
You got a monkey and a boy in your trunk, but that doesn't offset the advantages that car provides, man.
Everyone
that's
else
a rough
drove
ride for Sprito and Chim Chim.
Everyone had to drive around the lake. You drove through the lake and popped up in front of everybody. That's not fair.
Rosie Ruiz we pointed her and scoffed that she cheated the Boston Marathon or whatever she cheated.
That's right.
When's he getting taken to task?
Did you guys see that scene in Ferrari, the crash scene?
Yeah.
That was so disturbing.
In the movie Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, true story.
That was horrific. As far as car carnage goes, that was I was like my jaw hit the floor there.
They would routinely have lots of people die who were spectators because they would do the Targa Floria or whatever it was. And it was like, it was a race through streets of Italy. And there'd be people, Le Mans had an accident where 85 spectators died. 80.
That's insane.
What?
Yeah,
85.
It's crazy. I went back after I saw the movie and I read these statistics. It's horrific.
Mercedes.
I assumed you were talking about the driver, guy whose legs got blown up.
The guy in the car. Yeah, the drivers would die. Sure. Don't worry, Sheck. The driver died. The driver died. The navigator would die, if they were navigating. But there'd be kids and people, and they'd be lining the roads, to watch the car go by. And then sometimes the car would get off the road and take everybody out.
Sweet.
There was no barriers.
Yeah,
there was no anything. And they actually they got rid of the Targa Floria or whatever. Some of the stuff they would just get rid of. The Mercedes crash is from 1955. Mercedes pulled out of racing for like 40 years after that.
I don't know how I completely have missed this as somebody who's a sports fan. Speaking of
you missed that sports. They took like 85 people in the stands.
This is the first I've ever heard of this in my life. I'm curious about the other sporting event that you were talking about, Emile, with the poker playing. I want to hear more about this because
I do too.
I want to do that. So you opened it with, I don't know if it's a humble brag or just a statement of fact, but you're like, I'm on no sleep. So that means you played through the night. You saw the sun come up with the cards?
So the reason why there was no sleep is because the last hand of the night was Ace King versus Queens, and I lost both boards. So I went home, and in the middle of the night, woke up and was just like, fuck.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It was more like that, and then not being able to go to sleep after that.
Back to McQueen. Remember in the famous producer, I can't think of his name, Bob Evans documentary. The movie is great.
In the picture.
Love that doc.
Oh my God, it's the greatest documentary. It's like
that Matthew Good nailed it in that show too, huh? Bob Evans.
Losing your lady always hurts. But when you lose her to the biggest star in the world,
so good.
Makes you
Never would have thought he would have played that like
makes
that.
Makes you feel small. So McQueen steals his woman.
I love it when he goes, the name Bob Evans gets ink.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
It's so good.
I love it.
The name Evans gets ink. Does it hurt worse when you lose to a celebrity? I mean, is it like, oh my God, are you plagued by the thoughts of David Schwimmer just took me for $8K? Are those the sorts of cats that you're playing with?
That's two questions in one, but this is you kind of it depending on who beats you, it can hurt more.
I bet.
If it's some bumbling fool that beats you, you're like, whatever.
If it's Jim Belushi's loser brother,
if it's some
pro Jim
who just like bluffs the shit out of you and then like shows you afterwards and like looks you in the eye and is like, I own you. Yeah, it's way more annoying than if it's like some rec player, who's just like, all in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't play poker, but the first time I did the Toyota Celebrity Grand Prix of Long Beach, I was like, look, I don't care if Josh Brolin beats me. I just want to be beat by some soap star. Fucking soap star beat me. Won the race. The only soap star in there won the whole thing. That's what happened.
If I could remember the name of the woman who could never famously win a daytime Emmy, that's what. Susan Lucci.
Susan Lucci.
I saw a guy my first night at the high stakes game that I went to. I saw a guy turn like $50,000 into $1 million by the end of the night.
Whoa.
Yeah, like insane. It was like, oh my gosh.
Did he get up and leave?
I don't know what he did. He might probably, I don't know. I have no idea what he did.
But did he?
He eventually got up and left for sure.
With his $1 million?
I don't know. I can't say one way or another.
I better be like Pesci or Chaz Palminteri. To your point, Ace. I would be a shame if it's, like I say, Larry the Cable Guy or somebody like that. It hurts differently.
I can't. Yeah, oh yeah.
No?
That's gambling. The problem with gambling.
It's horrible. It's total
because
degenerate activity. It's addictive. It's the worst.
Also, I just got done yelling at my son, who's 18. He loves football and he likes to do a little gambling on football. And I talked to him like 3 or 4 days ago, and he goes, I go, what's the Thursday night game or whatever it is? And he goes, I got the Bills at Miami. And I go, oh, what do we got? And he goes, Bills are giving away 3 points. And I go, Jesus Christ, I like the Bills on that. Then he goes on this long soliloquy about Miami and good at home and good defense and blah, blah. And I go, I just take the Bills money line. I just think the Bills. Why points? Why even doing points? Take the Bills and the money line. I like the Bills. And I'm like, oh no, gave me 20 minutes on Miami. Bills roll over Miami. Following down, I'm yelling at my son. I'm calling him up, fucking cussing at him over the phone. You little shit. You talk me out of this. We're fighting now because of gambling, and I didn't even gamble.
It causes a lot of issues.
I didn't even gamble.
No,
I just yelled at him.
It causes a lot of issues. It's kind of crazy.
Then he tells me he takes the over, but took Miami in the game. I'm like, you fucking idiot. Why don't you listen to me? I told you to take the Bills and the money line. The problem that's inherent with gambling is the amount has to sting, and it has to make a difference if it's good, and it's got to sting a little if it's bad. Because I remember when I was poor, I mean real poor, just poker night with the boys and the bottle of change, just a bucket of change would show up, quarters and dimes and stuff. And I walk out of there losing $31, and it stunk.
Yeah,
it stunk. That's 2 pizzas I could have ordered.
You always reduce it to like the most base thing you could buy with it.
I could have bought insulin.
1,000 burgers.
Yeah, right. But then, Michael Jordan's got to. He can't just go, I'll bet you $50 for the next hole of golf. It's got to fucking sting.
Yeah.
Or it's got to benefit. So the problem is you can't just enjoy gambling.
No.
Because the stakes have to sting. I can't, if I wanted the Bills, I couldn't have bet $25 because it wouldn't have mattered one way or the other. You need to feel it. And that's really inherent, that's where the damage comes in.
Yeah, I mean, if I had gone to this game yesterday and lost $10,000 or something like that and like not, I mean, I would have been just absolutely devastated. I probably wouldn't be
Is
here.
It catered? Is it catered? What Hollywood embellishments are at the table? Or
None.
Even Tony Soprano's games in the hotel rooms. I remember they'd bring food in and everything. Nothing like that. Nothing fancy.
Well, there's different games. Not the one I was at though.
Yeah. And this is there a secret knock?
Honestly, it was funny when I went, the door was just unlocked, and I was thinking, God, this is really unsafe.
This is somebody's home, or can you give us the address once we stop?
Yeah,
down
I'll give you the
here?
address.
Is it?
I went to an underground game in LA, and as I was walking up, this was like somewhere in Hollywood or something. As I was walking up, there was literally like a shooting next door where I think somebody like lost their life. I mean, it was as I was walking up, there were like cops swarming the place, and I was like, "This is just crazy." But it wasn't even at the game. It was like at a grocery store or something.
There's this whole world out there I know nothing of. I would always hear about that with the Black Book and Heidi Fleiss, and the girls and the parties and stuff. And I'd always be like, I don't live in Wisconsin. I live here. I hang out with some of these people. I make shows. I see everybody. How come I have no idea about any of
Heroin
this
dens?
stuff?
Like, where were these after hours places? Where are these going on? I'm never invited.
Yeah, like meth basements.
Yeah, I like to go to a heroin den or a meth basement.
Sure.
Meth basement.
Or
Or heroin attic and a meth basement.
Or like a fentanyl entry hall or something, a foyer or something.
When's it my turn? That's all. You know?
The only, Emile, you may have done this. You've done plays, Broadway stuff.
Not
that
really.
Kind of stuff.
Not really. I did plays as a kid. I did a couple, but not really.
On Broadway, if you go see a Broadway play and then you leave with one of the celebrities who did the play, you can walk down a side street, go up a couple stairs, give a secret knock, and there is a speakeasy for just the Broadway actor and actresses to hang out and not be bothered by all the fans. It just spilled out onto the street. So that's about as close I ever got.
All the fans, nice.
Yeah, the Broadway fans. Or maybe more fanatical.
Crowds of them.
Yeah, they may be more into it than any.
They are. They're obsessed.
Yeah.
I remember leaving, I think View from the Bridge with Liev Schreiber I saw with Scarlett Johansson maybe like 13, 14 years ago, and it was like a mob of people waiting. It was crazy.
Well, his greatest role is the voice of Hard Knocks training camp, Liev Schreiber.
Oh, that's funny. I don't know that.
Oh, Sheck knows.
Oh, yeah.
Hard Knocks training camp?
Yeah, they did. It's a weekly documentary during
Oh,
the
yeah,
month
yeah.
of
No,
NFL
it's not
training
Hard
camp.
Knocks.
Isn't it?
No.
Sure.
No,
Hard
no.
Knocks.
That's not the name.
Why don't you
It
tell
is?
us?
Is it definitely Hard Knocks?
Hard
Two
Knocks?
dorks who sit around and watch football documentaries.
That's all I got is Hard Knocks. I don't get the
I
fucking
totally
underground
thought that was a
poker
different.
days.
Isn't there a boxing one that he narrated too, though?
He was in a.
He did narrate a boxing one.
He was
What was
also
it called?
in a series.
24/7. 24/7. Sorry.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Hey, I didn't react. That was
Excuse me,
Sheck over there
sports
turned his
fans.
nose up. I was neutral on the whole thing. Well, he was in.
I'm not going to sit here and be talked to about.
Wasn't he in the show with John Voight? That was the box.
That
yeah,
was where
Ray
he was like a
Donovan.
fixer.
Ray
I've
Donovan,
never
yeah.
seen that show. Yeah.
I never saw that one either, but I pretended like
He's
I
great.
did.
Liev Schreiber is like 6'6" or 5 or something. He is absolutely gargantuan.
He's Aaron Hernandez tall.
Ooh, another person who could have done a better job of playing Aaron Hernandez.
All right. I should say the movie Dead Money.
Dead Money, yeah.
Let's make sure. And you and the producers and whatever, and I do like it. Liev is 6'3". I like it when the producers go, I want this guy to look like he's actually playing, which always, like, everybody has their field of expertise, right? And then when you watch a movie where it's depicted, it always bumps you. You know, like my expertise is construction. And whenever they do a sitcom or movie or something, construction guys, like, they all come walking to the bar, they're still wearing their hard hats. Like, they have to be told 8 times a day, put your fucking hard hat on the job site as soon as the job's over. They're not walking into the bar with hard hats. Their tool bags are always brand new and shiny leather, and they got the wrong size hammer for like what it's always off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And whether it's a movie about swinging a baseball bat or playing cards, you just want it to look like the people have been there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I think the screenwriter, Josh Wilcox, was a grinder player at Hustler Casino for like 12 years. So he really, really lived it and then wrote the script. And, you know, we just played for a couple months before we shot. So it was very real in the sense that I was really obsessed with playing poker when I made the movie. I mean, it was just, I was really playing all the time. Even on my off days in Atlanta where we shot, there were all these really weird underground games that I went to. Like,
It seems like
just strange. And,
recurring theme. Emile has found poker to be a real passion. You've discussed. Is this the movie you've made that has provided you with an activity that you are going to continue with beyond the picture?
the irony is that I was losing a bunch in the beginning of the year, and so in order to get my bankroll back, I was like, I gotta just make some of this cash I lost. So I started doing paintings. I started painting these high stakes poker players, and they would like commission paintings and stuff, and that was what I started to do. So I kind of fell like in love with painting again because I hadn't painted in like 10 years. My mom's a painter. My dad studied art, so I was like, I kind of grew up with it, but I hadn't done it in like 8 or 9 years. And so weirdly enough, the poker kind of led me back into the arts.
How cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it makes sense with kind of the Topanga vibe too, because that's the artist hung out in Topanga.
The poker players that I've been painting, I painted Alan Keating and Nick Airball and Charlie Hook.
And did you sell that to them?
Yeah.
I believe. Oh God, I'm gonna try to think of this one. But you're not the first celebrity who's done this. Do you know that?
Poker player specifically you're talking about?
No, the first now celebrity who painted people doing their stuff was okay. I'm gonna think. I gotta think. I'm a little sleep deprived.
Give me a clue.
I'm trying to give myself a clue. Sadly, I'm having a senior moment here.
What's weird as a side note to Phil is Randy Johnson, the Hall of Fame pitcher, is now among the more accomplished sports photographers, which is bizarre. Right. 6'9".
This is Crews, Terry Crews.
Oh yeah.
Terry Crews is a fine artist who played a little professional football, who would do a portrait of like Natron Means. That's a good name.
Yeah.
Natron. You're going to the show. Your name is Natron Means. He'd paint him and then sell him the painting, as he told me here in this very studio. So did you know Terry Crews was
I did actually. I did know that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. He's good.
That's one of his. Wow, that's great. Howard Stern is an accomplished painter too, right?
I find it a lot.
Oh, this is Ronnie Harmon. That's his painting, though. He painted. It looks like we're looking at a photograph of Ronnie Harmon.
Wow. Yeah, I enjoy painting. I think it's a fun activity.
Iowa halfback, real nice pass catcher in the NFL. Ronnie Harmon was. Yeah, dropped one though, ironically, in Cleveland.
Sorry, could have.
No.
Is your painting good enough? Is Terry Crews level?
I don't know. I mean, you could judge for yourself if you want.
We could find some.
Yeah, it's on. I post the paintings on my Instagram.
So would you paint? Think you could paint Franco Harris or just poker players?
I'd paint
because Terry can do.
Honestly, I'd paint whoever.
Whoever.
Yeah, I'd paint whoever because honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's almost like working on a puzzle, a painting, because you're just figuring out all the color schemes and all the the shading and everything. There's one of them.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Would you have to set up an easel and?
Yeah, easel, everything like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful because it's a little more stylized than Terry. Terry just looks like a photograph almost. This has got a little flavor in it.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Is that Natron Means or is that?
That's Nick Airball. That is Nick Airball.
Looks a little like the guy playing like Aaron Hernandez in the movie.
He's like a famous high stakes poker player. He's really, yeah, he's hilarious.
That's great.
That's an amazing gift. Or I don't know, gift. You work on it pretty hard, I guess. But that's amazing.
It's big too. That's 3 by 4 feet. So
wow,
it's pretty big. Yeah.
Are you doing acrylics or what are you doing?
Yeah, that's acrylic. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. And do you sell these to them?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then quickly gamble the money away?
And then you quickly lose it and you start the process over again. Yeah, that's
a commissioned work
it's
of
so
Adam
funny,
Carolla
though.
as Racer X.
I mean, I don't know. I think I will say this. After having painted in the past, because I have tons of paintings in storage from years prior to painting now, it is way more fun painting when you're getting paid for the painting.
Oh, yeah.
Like way more fun. For me at least. It's kind of crazy.
With sex, especially. When I know the fucking meter's running, I'm so much better. Like
you put out.
My mood is better. Yeah. All right. Do you remember? Because you're talking about the Bicycle Club and the Hustler Club and Gardena.
Yep.
Gardena's where the Pan Poker Society or whatever was in Gardena. But I never been there. I rebuilt a decorative box factory in Gardena once. Gardena's a depressing part of Los Angeles, but I could remember, you're too young, but they used to have commercials for the Poker Society of Gardena.
Oh, wow.
And they would run these commercials during the day, you know. And somebody should have told whoever ran the commercials, like, the Carolla home, don't bother. They're not buying the Time Life set of books. They're not going to the Super Bowl motocross at the concert. Just save yourself some time. Do not pump that into the Carolla house. I don't care whatever food you got, whatever events, circus in town, everybody. No purchase at the Carolla house. So I would just find myself watching these commercials. And the greatest one was the Poker Society. You can find them, Emmy. We've looked them for, of Gardena. But the angle wasn't gamble. It was the food. The food is exquisite. And it would be like 24 hours they're open. They would show these really depressing pictures of like people sitting in booths, you know, from the 70s getting shitty food. But there's one that I always loved it. They had the horseshoe, and they go, the horseshoe, continental cuisine, exquisite. And then
Isn't it so sad though when you go through a casino and you see people gambling at the slot machines?
Oh my God!
And it's just like some old person sitting there with like with a cigarette, like hitting the. I mean, it's like
people go. I mean, it's one thing to drive 45 minutes somewhere in SoCal. When people get on a plane on the East Coast to fly to Las Vegas to plop themselves,
to smoke cigarettes at a slot machine,
in that slot machine for the entirety of the weekend, it really is sad. Yeah,
it's sad until. Like when I was in Vegas recently, I played the Wheel of Fortune slot machine. I stick $100 into this machine and I pull the thing, and I thought I had a bunch of turns, but it was like I had 3 turns or something. It was like way more than I thought. And the second or third pull, I hit it, and it was like the first time I won at a slot machine. It was like, tell her we'll come see you. And I was like, oh my God.
So it's not like it is in the movies, like, it
was
the
like,
money's
ding,
all
ding, ding. It
spilling
was like,
on the floor.
ding, ding, ding. There's no money, but wait for the teller. You know, it was like that.
$100.
Yeah, and
3 polls?
it was like $4,000 or something. It was the most I've ever won at a slot machine ever. I could not believe it.
I think we found the one, although my favorite. Yeah, here it is, from my youth.
The Poker and Pan Casino Association of Gardena features the restaurants of the El Dorado. One or the other of our fine restaurants at the El Dorado are open 24 hours of every day. Here, the preparation and serving of fine food and beverages is an art
Is this in the 40s or something?
Like
75.
He's like a transatlantic accent.
The El Dorado restaurants, members of the Poker and Pan Casino Association of Gardena,
welcome you
Mr.
to Gardena. Yeah, I
Look
know.
here, fella, you're gonna love it, and you're gonna eat good. You're gonna leave here with a belly full of gravy.
There's one that we can never find anymore, but they talk about the horseshoe, and they go like international cuisine, exquisite, and then they'd go the El Dorado. You're on the French Riviera. I was like 9, sitting in North Hollywood, going, "There's no fucking way you're gonna think you're on the French Riviera." That's Gardena.
You're just a sophisticated kid to think that at 9.
Yeah, I had thoughts. I knew 2 things. I knew Gardena wasn't going to be mistaken for the French Riviera, and I knew I was never going to this place to eat. Those are the 2 things I was certain of at age 9. All right, we got to take a break. You guys can hang out a little. Joe's got some news. Joe, I think do news from where you are. Maybe we can work that out. Emile, hang. And we'll just come back and do the news right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly offers friendly, helpful service and the parts and knowledge you'll need for all your maintenance and repairs. That's right. It's not just about maintenance. You got to repair it every once in a while yourself. I've been going to O'Reilly since, knee-high to a boll weevil? I don't know what they say, grasshopper. I've always gone to O'Reilly. I used to live up in the hills in La Crescenta. I'd go to the one up on Foothill. Still there. Passed it the other day. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in store or online, so you'll never have to worry if you're in a jam. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of your car, which is nice. You don't have to pull it. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right battery for your vehicle. Need your windshield wipers replaced, brake light fixed, quick service. They'll help you find the right part or point you to the nearest local repair shop for help as well. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the team at O'Reilly knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, friendly. So the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto, do-it-yourself, and you can find what you need in the store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, man. Greg from Lincoln, Nebraska here. Got a rich man, poor man for you. The guy that never reads his mail. Get it out?
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Emile Hirsch is here. Dead Money's the name of the film on VOD and in select theaters as we speak. And Emile's done so many movies. Started so young, too. I just figured you'd be older because you go back so far, but you just got started young, man, which is the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt to start young.
You can learn the basics of acting like learning a language as a kid or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you learn how to learn dialogue and things like that before you really are thinking about it. When if you're in like your mid-20s, you're like, I'm thinking about learning lines for the first time. Whereas for me, it's just natural. I just show up. I just kind of do stuff. And
yeah, the language is perfect analogy.
Yeah,
but it's also
yes.
I mean, you guys are skimming over that's a rarity to be a child actor and bridge the gap through your years and your 20s and still be doing it.
In the unlikely event you can actually carry it through, then it's an advantage. But yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
There's not from guys that I knew and remember, there's very, very few that like still act. Maybe a lot of them just weren't that interested in it or, whatever.
Christian Bale, I just realized was...
Bale, yeah, he was in Empire of the Sun.
Right.
A lot of guys are just doing portraits of Natron Means. Now they've pulled that acting. Natron's like, I don't need another poster, but all right, I got money. All right, and they probably didn't even paint Natron Means. It was just a San Diego running back that I got.
It's a good pull.
It's a good pull. All right, what do you got, Joe? Some news?
Yes, Jane's Addiction has canceled its reunion tour in the wake of an onstage fight. I'm not sure if you guys saw the clip, but over the weekend, Dave Navarro, Perry Farrell got into it on stage. And now the band has announced that it is canceling the rest of its tour with updates from Navarro on Instagram and now Perry Farrell apologizing as well. So we'll play the clip for you guys.
I'm glad this happened because he bumped him and then he pushed him again and he's screaming at him and they took a swing at him.
It seems to come out of nowhere. Perry Farrell gets in Dave Navarro's face for unexplained reasons.
Well, I'm glad that
maybe he was ripping that guitar solo just a little. It was like Steve Buscemi at the end of like Airheads or whatever.
Yeah.
Where he's just like doing the thrust guitar thing. He just couldn't take it anymore.
Navarro's a really nice guy. Dave Navarro's
a very nice guy. He is a very nice guy.
You can pause it if you like. Navarro's a really nice guy. Mom was murdered. It's a crazy story.
Shit.
Grew up out here. Perry Farrell, I never met him until he came in here like 6 months ago.
It's Will Ferrell's cousin.
Really?
No.
I was going to say, that's weird.
Range.
But now he comes in here, and I'm like, oh, Perry Farrell's coming in. That guy's fucking nuts. Like he's nuts.
He came in here.
Yeah, and I'm like, how's this interview going to go with this crazy person? And he comes in here, and he tells me he was an all-league high school wrestler.
Oh, God.
and wrestled in college, and then goes on to tell me the most normal life, worked on a construction site, wrestled in high school, was a complete delight. Nothing like what you'd think this rock and roll character of his was. Smart, friendly, down to earth, and was like telling me, yeah, I used to frame houses and I used to wrestle in high school.
What was Jane's addiction? An addiction to wrestling.
And construction.
And being normal.
But now he's back to being nuts. Again, is what I think.
I'd love to know what it is. It's funny that it would come full circle like this because I went with you, Ace, to one of those weenie roasts way back in like the turn of the millennium kind of thing. And
K-Rock.
I was kind of cynical, like, Jane's addiction. I don't know, they're kind of washed up, aren't they? Kind of old men now at this point. And they hit the stage, and I mean, it was the greatest.
Yeah, they can rock.
I mean, when they rip into the Mountain Song, when Dave Navarro plays that, it is unironically dynamite. One of the great things you can witness or hear in rock and roll. It's too bad, I think. I would love to have seen Jane's in a smaller venue when they were coming up.
He also came up with Lollapalooza, I think. That's his baby. The tour.
That sounds right, yeah.
Is his baby. And all that. Also, Porno for Pyros. Like, it's got a pretty interesting background. So I don't...
It's a strange... Porno for Pyros.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's very strange.
It's a good name.
It's a good name, though.
They came up with that name before they came up with the band.
That's right.
Yeah, that's an example. Yeah, the band.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. What else you got?
Yeah, so
Joe?
Dave weighed in over the weekend, as did, the band put out a statement. Then Perry's wife put out a statement. And then finally this morning, Perry Farrell issued a public apology to Dave Navarro and the other members of Jane's Addiction. He said, "This weekend has been incredibly difficult, and after having the time and space to reflect, it is only right that I apologize to my bandmates, especially Dave Navarro, fans, family, and friends for my actions during Friday's show. Unfortunately, my breaking point resulted in inexcusable behavior, and I take full accountability for how I chose to handle the situation."
Wow. And then they just canceled the tour.
Yeah.
See, if I was playing the drums or the bass, I'd just be like, hey, could you two fucking get over this? Cause
or I'd be like, can we get another singer and just get paid?
Yeah, because...
Like, if you're the drummer, you're just like, fuck.
By the way, you can't go out on stage for 85 minutes without punching someone else who's on stage. I feel like you guys are capable. You're in your 50s. You're capable of doing this.
Yeah.
Just remember during COVID, they had that lucite thing?
Oh, yeah.
The bank
put a barrier.
Stuff,
put one of those
between.
plastic barriers.
If I was the drummer, I'd say, the one that goes around the drum kit? I'm just going to take that down.
Oh my
and I'm going to spread it out.
That's what
I'm
it's going to be with these
it.
older rock stars. It's just going to be partitions. So each
yes,
each member is going to have their own little section.
They all hate each other.
They all hate. Why is it? How come rock stars? They hate each other when they're older so much. It's just they resent the shit out of each other. It's like the classic thing you see where it's just like their egos are so big.
Comedy duos hate each other as well. All duos and all bands and all. Well, okay, you tour around the world. You're in confined spaces for long periods of time. Inevitably, somebody's doing something that's bothering somebody else in that band. There's a great Joe Perry. There's a great clip of Joe Perry and Steven Tyler where Steven Tyler and Joe Perry hate each other from Aerosmith, and Steven Tyler's like trying to walk across the stage, and Joe Perry, I think Steven Tyler's singing, and Joe Perry just gives him a little hip check, little butt check, and just butts him right off the stage. I mean, he could have said, Steven Tyler's a frail man, and he could have been 70 when he did it. He could have broke his hip in 3 places. Like, he fucked him up, and it's just he doesn't like him.
Wow.
I assume it's usually creative differences. I've gotten to talk to Stuart Copeland about like what is the thing with Sting and everything. It's like creative differences. Just don't agree on what the sound should be.
Someone says, I want it to be this way, and the other guy goes, I disagree.
No, in 1983, 5, Sting just went, every single song we do has to sound like a reggae song. And I don't care what song it is. We're going to do the reggae riff on everything.
Wouldn't you get raw if you were like, did you see the documentary a few years ago with the Beatles? And it became abundantly clear if you watched it all, like, well, Paul McCartney is obviously steering this ship much more than John Lennon is, but the shine that they're getting is McCartney and Lennon are a duo. At some point, it would settle into me being vain that, why is he getting equal credit, man? I'm the guy I'm the straw that stirs this drink. Usually it wouldn't be like he's a douchebag, like David Lee Roth. That's my sense with Van Halen. They're like, yeah, we don't like him. He's a weirdo guy. But usually
Lennon was just undeniably the cooler one, though.
But I would be resentful of that. I'd be like, why do all the girls like him so much? I'm the one.
Do it with your British accent.
Why do they like him so much more than... Wait, I don't think I got that right.
Here's how everything works in every relationship. If you can have, like, the bass player from Van Halen, Mikey. I can't think of Mike's last name, but good dude. He's super easy. I mean, nicest guy in the world. Know him a little bit, hang out. He's nice. If you have laid back and friendly, you can get along. You can work it out. It's like in a relationship. You can't have two moody people. The husband and the wife can't both. You can have the moody wife and the husband who's just flexible and all right, fine. You know, and you can have two laid back people, but you can't have two moody people. Those people can't cohabitate. Same with roommates, same with workmates. Like you can't, somebody needs to be flexible and easy. If you get two moodies in a band, you can have a band with David Lee Roth, but not David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen. You could have David Lee Roth and then 3 dudes who are super flexible, but not 2 hard dudes.
Yeah.
Then that's where it starts. They start butting heads. We find Steven Tyler getting butted up. It's got to be on. It's all over the internet, right?
Prickly alphas.
Yes, prickly alphas.
We're working on it. It's we haven't found a clip of it yet. There's possibly one on TMZ we're scrubbing through.
They should maybe reemerge instead of Jane's Addiction. Prickly alphas. Just hit the stage now. New tour.
Prickly alphas, man.
I would watch them. All right, what else? You can find that on. Yeah, it is on TMZ because I saw it like a week ago.
More sad news from the music world.
Here it is. Here it is. Sorry. Let's see. He fell 6 feet into the crowd, and he's 70 years old.
Wow.
While Perry's giving a guitar solo, not Perry Farrell, but
he took his revenge.
Joe Perry. He's pissed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're not. It doesn't. You learn to hate each other on the road or whatever it is. Then drugs and booze start.
You learn to hate each other.
That's right.
It's like the knowledge that they should.
Right. All right. Sorry. What else do you got?
More sad news from the music world. We lost Tito Jackson of an apparent heart attack on Sunday. He was driving from New Mexico to Oklahoma when he died, apparently of a heart attack. According to the family manager, Steve Manning, who told that to Entertainment Tonight.
It's a weird drive going from New Mexico to Oklahoma, right?
It's a strange detail doing.
It's a weird, like in the world of Southwest Airlines and stuff. Does anybody do those anymore? Like for $111, you catch a Southwest. Maybe he didn't like flying. Maybe he was scared. Joe Jackson, the dad, is gone, right? Mom
is still alive.
So that's 3 total from the immediate family? Tito, Michael, and Joe?
Yeah, I think that's it. I always liked Joe Jackson, the dad, because he was always accused of beating his kids and being this kind of strong-arm guy, and he'd do these videos. He was kind of like the Bikram yoga guy where they'd go hundreds of women have accused you of raping them. They should pay for my semen. He doesn't go like, look, there are a lot of allegations. He goes head first right into everything.
What does he say?
He's literally says, like they go, you had a young yoga instructor. She was a whore. she should pay for the semen I put on her head. Like literally, he fucking dives right in. It's unbelievable. You can find Bikram yoga guy like sitting down with interview.
This is Joe Jackson.
Sorry, Joe. That's Bikram yoga guy. Joe
Jackson
Jackson.
like sperm on any of his kids that we know.
Joe Jackson like sits there. He does Sean Connery things, where you go like, but it's never okay to hit a woman, and he's like, define never. But you can't hit women. Hey, listen, I handle things the way I handle things. Like he didn't try to walk it back or anything. He's like, yeah, I got a fucking pimp hand. Kids need to be hit, and that was always his rub. But he also had that penciled in mustache and like a pinky ring. And he looked like an evil carnival barker, which is weird because Bill Cosby was like, I'm going to do this shit, but that's why I wear pastel sweaters, because I don't want people to know what I'm up to. Joe Jackson leaned into the shit. He looked like the guy who beat his kids and smacked his wife and had adulterous affairs. He dressed like a comic book character of an evil dad.
But why, though?
That's my whole thing. I would be like, look, do all the fucking shit you want, Joe, but let's lose the mustache. It's mustache and evil.
Why do you think he really liked it?
Like the stash or the activity?
And the ring.
You got to find Joe Jackson sitting for an interview, or the Bikram yoga guy. He would dress like in a 40s movie, the guy who was the heavy, the evil guy when he walked into the restaurant.
I think some percentage of people who are successful have this Samson sense of themselves. Like, I can't mess with what's gotten me to this point.
He's novelty.
I better not change this look.
He's old school Indiana poverty. Now I'm living in Encino, and I'm going to have a pocket square and a tie clip and a bowler with a feather. I'm dressing like a pinky ring, like a nugget watch. Like, this is what a rich guy would do from his childhood. So I think that's how Joe Jackson.
Back to the bands. Fighting among bandmates is common. Also common, and I think more repellent to my eyes, is the conversations during the show between the guitar player and the lead man. When they do the back to back and they lean in and then the one guy says something and they all laugh. Like, what are you talking about in the middle of the show that's making you visibly laugh? What's going on that's so funny? What wisecrack warranted that reaction?
That's all
the inside joke. That's right. It is. I don't care for it. I came in to see you and connect with you, and now you're doing little inside jokes with each other. Let me in.
All right, here's Joe answering allegations. He already has a chain outside of his.
This is just Joe in an interview looking Joe Jackson.
Looking Joe Jackson. Big gold chain outside the tie and collar and pinky ring and nugget watch. You got to get a shot of him with his penciled in mustache.
The hat inside's a good look.
Hat inside. I mean, it's. Oh, wait, there he is. Let's see. Sunglasses. Hat. I mean, he looked like someone who beat his kids. That's what I'm saying. Like, where he should have got Bill Cosby's publicist to go like, look, put a pastel sweater on and take your sunglasses and weird pinky ring off. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging. I'm saying it's a tell, as you would say in the poker world, right?
Yeah, I mean, he looks cool. He doesn't look uncool, he does look cool.
Listen, when we found out, here's all I'm saying. When we found out Joe Jackson, the patriarch from the Jackson family, was beating his kids, everyone was like, yeah, that's about right. When we found out Bill Cosby was raping people, we were like, holy shit, not that guy. See, he got us. He got us. He got us with the dance.
We're just giving advice to people to commit better criminality out here.
There's a version.
Can't they learn any advice on how to do it?
Yeah, I mean, there's, I have mixed emotions about telling the next generation how not to be
make
spotted.
Crime better.
Well, look,
if you're gonna do it,
I used to tell the guys, who got busted on Catch a Predator, the pedophiles that rolled up to the house. I'm here to give advice to pedophiles, but I would say if that was me, I check Waze when I was about 20 miles outside of my new girlfriend's house. I would order a medium-sized cheese pizza from Domino's to be delivered to her address, and then I would just park in front. And when the door opened, if I saw like a boom mic spill out or something, I would just keep driving. But if the coast was clear, then we'd have a fresh pizza to enjoy.
You're like an internet sleuth that tries to like figure everything out.
I'm sort of like one of these guys that goes, look, do you really want people to learn how to build fertilizer bombs on the internet? I just go, I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm sorry. It's all got the good, the bad, the warts.
Do you think you would be, if you decided to be a criminal of any color, high-end white-collar crime or bank robberies, right? You think you would be able to beat the man?
No.
No, you'd wind up in the pokey at some point?
It's too much science now.
Yeah, true.
And it really just has to be about their will. Like they would want to lock me up. And once they want to, they'll get you. Do we have the Bikram yoga? No Joe Jackson on sexual allegations.
We have.
We didn't. I wasn't talking about
Joe Jackson answering for his sexual, abuse that LaToya accused him of. But we do have him answering to whether or not he beat Michael.
Oh yeah, that's why I kept saying beating his kids.
Yeah,
I never said
beating
sex.
started with slavery, is what he says. So,
yeah,
got that.
Yeah, that's. I never brought up sex. Bikram is sex guy. This guy's beating.
Make no mistakes, Larry, because Michael was raised properly. He didn't run the streets like most of those other kids that was in his neighborhood. Michael
why did he say
Michael,
that you
listen now. You got to understand me. Don't cut me off here, Larry. Michael had claims that he had a dual life. Michael never had he had his own brothers and sisters to play with, and that was the other. But most of those kids that was Michael's age during that time, they're not living now. So
when he didn't he once say that you were physically, emotionally abusive to him?
I've never been abusive to him. Never have.
But did he say that? Did he ever say that, to your knowledge?
Well, I don't know whether he said that or not, but I hear the media keep hollering about abuse him. I never abused my son.
Larry, could I say something, Joe? Larry, do you know?
Wait, Ro, let me handle this right here. Okay. Let me handle this. The media keep hollering about saying that I beat my son. That's not true. You know where this beating started? The beating started in the slavery days. They used to beat the slaves, and then they used to torture them. That's where this beating started at these slave masters. And that's where that come from. But hey, there's a lot of people in America.
How can people go? But
a lot of people in America speak to kids. If they say they don't, they're lying. They're lying. And Michael was never beat by me. Never beat at all.
You're on record.
That's funny. He says if they're being beaten, if they say that they're not, they're lying. And he goes, but he was never beaten. He just accuses all the parents. He's like, they're all lying if they say they don't, okay?
But do not dress like someone who just got done beating their child before you go on Larry King. You know what he should have dropped? You know what he should have wore? Forget about Bill Cosby's sweater. Sinbad's snowmobile jumpsuit that he wore in one of his specials. Sinbad wore a literal onesie for men.
I weirdly remember
that drive snowmobiles. That's what he should have, because no one's ever accused Sinbad of beating anyone in his snowmobile outfit.
That's true. No one has it I'm aware of.
Are you aware?
That's science.
Emile, anyone you know has been accused of Sinbad beating him in a snowmobile outfit?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think.
You want me to give you a second?
I don't think so.
So no.
No.
All right.
No. I think it's
that's my point.
It's a tried and true outfit.
I made my point. All right. Is Bikram yoga guy out there? Oh my God.
We got Bikram yoga guy. We got something. Here we go.
He's the best. Bikram yoga. He invented Bikram yoga.
Sarah Bond, Jill Lawler, Maggie Genthner. They felt sexually violated by you.
Okay. Lie, and lie. I don't need to do that.
Rape or sexually assault?
Sexual assault. If I need women, I can make a line the most beautiful, famous, rich women in the world, if I have to sleep with women, then I have to sleep, 5,000 girls every day.
5,000 women a day want to sleep with you?
Yeah. They commit suicide. 4 of them.
You're saying that 4 different women.
4 different women.
Each killed themselves because you wouldn't have sex with them.
All died. Why I have to harass women? People pay $1 million for
He's so
one
proud
drop
of that,
my
too.
sperm.
Wait, play that back for one second. Well, listen, here's this line. Listen to this line.
I have to harass women. People pay $1 million for one drop of my sperm. I can make $1 million a day, every drop. You are that.
Oh my God! Yeah, there's doubling down, and then there's
women of the
I'm going to show this to my son as part of his media training. Son, this is how if you're ever accused. This is how you handle it. Listen. You're in the surf. A wave's coming. You try to get away from it. You get pummeled. You have to dive through the wave, boy. Put your head down.
He's not even diving through a
it.
wave. He's like beating the guy on the jet ski next to him and then racing the jet ski into the wave.
I'm saying, if I'm in the media training business, I show this guy's tape.
And the way he like
jutted
jutted out his face and like pointed his lips to enunciate all of his points with his like weird ratty hair. Ooh.
4 women have killed themselves.
He's like, all dead.
All dead.
$1 million. So Demi Moore, it was a remake of Indecent Proposal with Moore. He was the original. $1 million for his sperm.
You can do $1 million a day.
For one drop. Only
For
one drop. And you know he's got more than one drop.
Oh, yeah.
A drop.
Doesn't come in drops.
He invented Bikram yoga.
Wow.
That's the dude. He's a hero.
What about what you know about Wim Hof? No, this is not Wim Hof is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
With the cold water breathing. That's like a cool
That's the ice bath thing you're
the
talking
ice
about?
bath, yeah.
Are you into this?
I like to get in an ice bath every now and then, and I watch some YouTube videos on Wim Hof.
I don't understand when I just saw a woman 9 months pregnant jump in.
I
to
saw that
ice
too.
thing, and I thought, is that definitely safe to do? And also, I feel like this. Adam Carolla is a big ice bath advocate. He likes.
I
doing
just
that.
got my cold tub.
Oh,
fired
nice.
up
Okay.
again.
All
yeah,
right.
it's hard. I hadn't done it.
When you get out, you feel great.
You're definitely awake. But
Why?
It's hard.
Because it's challenging yourself, and you feel like
It
I'm
just
better for
rocks
this.
your body and your mind when you get in it right in the morning for like a minute, and then you get out and you're like, oh, I'm so awake. Like if you're tired, if you're underslept, and you get in one of those things, like you're crazy awake after.
Is it that big a difference between that and me getting into a cold shower?
Yes.
Yeah, because
It
it's
is,
just
huh?
that much
Like
colder.
the big ragu, when he would get hot and heavy with Shirley in the apartment, the basement in Laverne and Shirley, Carmine the big ragu, when he would go for second base, Shirley would go take a cold shower, and he would literally have to go take a cold shower. Grown man.
You know what's a weird thing about the big ragu? You don't remember Laverne and Shirley.
I watched it as a kid, but I don't remember it.
The big ragu ran about 5'6.5".
Little guy, yeah.
And the Fonz was a nebbishy Jewish guy
Right.
from New York. Like neither one of them was physically imposed. And it was always like, Fonzie's here. And the guy that's on the football team would all back up, And then
And he had that leather jacket.
the big ragu would show up. He's 5 foot nothing, 161 pounds. And all again, the lumberjacks would be like, the big ragu's here. Shouldn't they have cast Aaron Hernandez lookalikes? Like
Same MMA guy.
At least Liev Schreiber.
At least Liev. I mean, hire the big rack. It's got the word. Hire a big dude. Okay. All right, Emile. We've used up enough of your precious time.
Well, thanks for having me.
Same old questions you always have to answer everywhere you go.
It's always big ragu. Speed Racer and Big Ragu. Those are the big ones. Yeah, Dead Money's the name of the film. And you come back anytime. You're in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, I'm right in Laurel Canyon. And in the movie, we were actually, Richard Roper gave it a really good review.
Oh,
from the Chicago Sun-Times.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he loved it, and he gave it a great review. Check the review out if you're curious about it.
VOD in some theaters, select theaters.
It was cool. It was really cool. And, he's one of the few critics that I actually recognize their name. Like movie critics,
Yeah, the only thing I've made a couple of independent films, and you get nothing when you do an independent film, but you work and you lose money, and it's just nothing. But my film made it to On the Movies, and Roper and the other guy loved it, and I was like, that's all I got is 2 thumbs up from watching Roper.
Sometimes those thumbs matter.
Yes, I agree. The Bikram yoga guy will put that thumb somewhere. I'll tell you that right now.
It really is some cast. Jackie Earle Haley from Breaking Away. First time we met him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Bad News Bears.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Bad News Bears. Then
Kelly
Breaking Away.
Leak, you're right. I stand corrected. Yeah. Another guy who's the best ball player in town is Jackie Earle Haley.
That Jackie Earle Haley in Bad News Bears is the big ragu, and Fonzie, the skinniest, spindliest, chain smokes. Why is he hitting dingers?
Riding a
What's
motorcycle.
funny is
onto
if you
the
think
field.
about Jackie Earle Haley and Bad News Bears, it was like this delinquent baseball kid grew up to be that guy.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's like.
Dead Money's the name of the film. I'm going to be in Salinas doing shows tomorrow. Oh, it's sold out, so forget about that. But then I'll be in Vegas on Thursday doing a show over there at Kimmel's Theater, 2 shows over there. So that isn't sold out, so you can go see that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Always fun. Emile Hirsch, thank you. Are we doing a hand? Let's do the handshake.
Do a nice
Fuck
one.
the bump.
Fist bump and all of that. Can I just say real quick right now, -3, Kevin Hench and I chopping it up for you, picking all the games for you. Track it down on
Thank
YouTube
you.
and otherwise.
Great. Hench is great. Saw him yesterday. Until next time, Adam Kroll for Shaq and Hirsch and Joe saying mahalo.